Waheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, tukusihi utaseme kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tunakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sergeant, ring the quorum bell. Ongari.
The business of the National Assembly has commenced with the Speaker, Honorable Moses Wetangula, presiding over the business this afternoon, but we have the quorum bell on ring mode upon the commencement of the House. And this is pursuant to Standing Orders number 34, subsection 1, that guide the House. Upon the commencement of business, the National Assembly has a number of agendas before it. And to just take you through some of the highlights in the order of business this afternoon, you will remember that the National Assembly will be proceeding on recess in about 2 weeks. And this afternoon, before the House does exactly that, we have statements that are set to be requested this afternoon. These statements will be requested pursuant to Standing Orders number 44, subsection 2C, Honorable Doris Donya, the member of County Assembly, Kisii County rather, the MP for Kisii County, who is the woman rep, if you may like, will be requesting for a statement on the tragic death of Miss Sylvia Kimunto and the escalating cases of gender-based violence. This committee, this statement will be handled by the Committee on Internal Security. The Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security will yet be handling another request for statement that is said to be sought by Honorable Zamzam Mohammed, the woman rep for Mombasa County. The county MP for Mombasa wants the committee to liaise with the ministry to provide details on the death of Mr. Yusuf Ali Abdi following controlled demolition of a building in Mombasa County. Honorable Danson Moshako will be requesting for a statement on the delayed execution of the contract of the Director General of the Kenya Fisheries Service. And this request for statement will be handled by the House Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. Joses Lemengit, the Member of Parliament for Mgwen, will be requesting for a statement on the state of section RW343 of the Kepterit to Moi University Road, and this statement will be responded to by the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure. Equally.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Oron, is that Oron? Take your seat. Honourable members have a few short communications. The first one is on public participation exercise on the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2025. Honourable members, as you may recall, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, was read a first time on Wednesday, 12th March 2025, and referred to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs for consideration. The bill seeks to amend the Constitution of Kenya to entrench the National Government Constituencies Fund, the Senate Oversight Fund, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund in the Constitution. Consequently, on 15th March 2025, in compliance with Articles 118(1)(b) and 256(2) of the Constitution, and Standing Order 127(3), the clerk placed advertisements in the local dailies inviting the public and stakeholders to submit memoranda on the bill. As observed by our courts, amending a country's constitution, more so our constitution, should be a sacrosanct public undertaking, and its processes must be undertaken very transparently and in strict compliance with the country's supreme law. Article 256(2) of the Constitution provides that Parliament shall plebiscite any bill to amend the Constitution and facilitate public discussion about the bill. It is for this reason that we must therefore conduct a granular public participation exercise on this Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2025. And in this regard, honorable members, the House Business Committee and the National Assembly General Legislative Caucus resolved that in addition to receiving written memoranda and consulting relevant stakeholders, the public participation exercise be extended to all the counties and constituencies so as to accord majority of Kenyans an opportunity to express themselves on the bill. With regard to the administrative arrangements to facilitate public participation, the House Business Committee and the National Assembly General Legislative Caucus also resolved that the countrywide public participation be undertaken from Monday, 5th May 2025 to Wednesday, 7th May 2025. Consequently, I now direct the clerk to communicate the full details of the program for the information of the public through print and electronic media advertisements on Monday, 21st April 2025. Honorable members, I advise all of you to avail yourselves to spearhead and participate in this very noble activity. I also direct the clerk to organize a Kamkunji on Tuesday, 29th April 2025, where members will be appraised on the modalities of the public participation exercise to be conducted in all the counties and constituencies. Members, you remember we did direct that your offices in the constituencies are parliament offices, and those are the venues at which this public participation will be conducted. I will not want to hear that any of you took public participation to some hotel room somewhere or behind some shop or bar in the villages. That will not be acceptable. Go to your offices. Those are our parliament offices. I thank you for your cooperation in advance. Honorable members, the second communication is to bring to your attention a matter of the resignation of the Member of Parliament from Bere North constituency. Honorable members, you recall that during the afternoon sitting of yesterday, Wednesday, 16th April 2025, the House approved the appointment. I think you did in the morning. In the morning. The House did approve the appointment of Honorable Geoffrey Kariuki Kiringa Ruku, Member of Parliament from Bere North, as the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development, and Special Programs. Honorable members have since received a letter from the member dated 16th April 2025, tendering his resignation as the Member of Parliament from Bere North constituency, effective from 10 p.m. yesterday, Wednesday, 16th April 2025. This arose out of the gazettement of his appointment as a Cabinet Secretary via Gazette Notice number 4834 dated 16th April 2025. Indeed, today morning, the Honorable Ruku took oath of office as the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development, and Special Programs. In this regard, honorable members, I will now proceed to execute the necessary actions required by law to declare the seat of Member for Parliament from Bere North constituency vacant so as to unlock the process of filling that vacancy. Honorable members, on my behalf and that of the House, I wish Honorable Ruku the best in his new assignment in the executive. The House and indeed the general public is accordingly advised. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. I have two more. The nearest seats. Bowen, what is the idea of nearest seat? Thank you, honorable members. The next, a very short communication of recognition of a delegation from the County Assembly of Turkana. Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation from the County Assembly of Turkana who are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. The delegation comprises of the following: Honorable Charles Lokioto Ewoi, MCA, Speaker and Leader of the delegation. Honorable Michael Ewoi, MCA, I hope they are not brothers, and the Honorable Samuel Aliwo, MCA. Honorable members, the delegation is accompanied by 6 members of staff of the County Assembly of Turkana. They are on a study visit to the National Assembly to benchmark with the Speaker's panel on parliamentary business. Honorable members, on my behalf and on that of the National Assembly, I welcome the delegation to Parliament and wish them fruitful deliberations. The fourth and last, honorable members, is a recognition of students from Starehe Boys Center and Alliance Boys High School. I wish to introduce to you 6 students from Starehe Boys Center and 3 from Alliance High School who are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. The students are in Parliament for a period of 2 weeks on a voluntary service scheme. The program gives the students an opportunity to give back to the community by providing voluntary service to various organizations during the school holidays. Honorable members, on my behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome these students to Parliament and wish them a positive experience in their service to the nation. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, April 17th, 2025. A, submission of nominees for the National Government Constituency Development Fund committees for the following 31 constituencies. 1, Awendo, 2, Baringo North, 3, Bumula, 4, Changamwe, 5 Omuhaya, 6 Fafi, 7 Garsen, 8 Hamisi, 9 Nigembe, 10 Kacheliba, 11 Kiambu Town, 12 Kipipiri, 13 Kisumu Central, 14 Kisumu East, 15 Kitui East, 16 Kitui South, 17 Kitutu Chache North, 18 Kitutu Chache South, 19 Kuresoi, 20 Lungalunga, 21 Machakos Town, 22 Malindi, 23 Manyata, 24 Narok East, 25 Narok North, 26 Navaholo, 27 Tigania East, 28 Ugenya, 29 Uriri, 30 Wajir North, and 31 Wundanyi. B, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the years ended 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein in respect of 1. Bondo Technical Training Institute, 2. Ikuda Technical and Vocational College, 3. Kieni Technical and Vocational College, 4. Kinangop Technical and Vocational College, 5. Kongoni Technical and Vocational College, 6. Koshin Technical Training Institute, 7. Laikipia East Technical and Vocational College, 8. Mishuki Technical Training Institute, 9. Mukureni Technical Training Institute, 10. Nakach Technical and Vocational College, 11. Omuga Technical and Vocational College, 12. Samburu Technical and Vocational College, 13. Tinderet Technical and Vocational College, and 14. Uriri Technical and Vocational College. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Thank you, Naomi. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy and Irrigation.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 17th April 2025. The report of Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water Irrigation, and its consideration of 1. The agreement of fisheries subsidies, and 2. The sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on National Sanitation Management Policy. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Health, Dr. Nyikal. Munene? Is that Munene?
Yes, Speaker.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to read the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 17th April 2025. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Health on 1. Its consideration of the Medical Social Workers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 22 of 2024. 2. Attendance to the 4th Global Association of Clinical Officers and Physician Association International Delegates Conference held in Botswana from 26 to 29 August 2024. And 3. Attendance to the 15th meeting of the Network of African Parliamentary Committees on Health, that is NIAPACO, held in Kingdom of Lesotho on 28 to 29 February 2024. I beg to raise, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Munene. Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, the 17th April 2025. The report of the Departmental Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of 1. The prevention of terrorism, implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on suppression of terrorism, regulations 2024, legal notice number 187 of 2024, and 2. The prevention of terrorism, implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on prevention, suppression, and disruption of proliferation, financing, amendment regulations 2024, legal notice number 188 of 2024.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Bowen, Chair, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give a notice of the following motion: that the House adopts the report of Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its consideration of the agreement on fish subsidies laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17 April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of the Treaties Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies.
Chairperson, Delegated Legislation, Robert.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts a report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration on the prevention of terrorism, implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on the suppression of terrorism, regulations 2024 laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, announce the prevention of terrorism, implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on the suppression of terrorism, regulations 2024, legal notice number 187 of 2024. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts a report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the prevention of terrorism, implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on prevention, suppression, and disruption of proliferation financing, Amendment Regulations 2024, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, announce the prevention of terrorism, implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions on the prevention, suppression, and disruption of proliferation financing, Amendment Regulations 2024, legal notice number 188 of 20.
That this House adopts the report of Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its consideration on the sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on National Sanitation Management Policy laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and approves the sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy, subject to the revisions as contained in the schedule to the report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, we have several requests for statements. Let's start with Charles Onchoke. Is your mic working?
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works regarding collapsed residential buildings in Bonchari constituency in Kisii County. Honorable Speaker, incidences of building collapsing while under construction or occupancy are being on an alarming rate, resulting in multiple fatalities, tragic loss of innocent lives, critical injuries, and loss of investments. Notably, on 2nd April 2025, a residential building collapsed in Iyabe in Bonchari constituency while under construction. 4 days later, on 6th April 2025, a 4-story residential building at Iterio also collapsed while under construction, seriously injuring 3 persons and resulting in the death of 5 persons, namely Mr. Richard Mose Nyamao of ID number 38359586, Mr. John Kamau Ayoti of ID number 361298871, Mr. Boaz Magoro Maobe of ID number 2274980, Mr. Nimrod Ondieki of ID number 3603-7187, and Mr. Geoffrey Nyakundi of ID number 378-42300. Honorable Speaker, these instances continue to occur despite the elaborate legal framework in place for ensuring standards, safety, and orderly construction practices. Regrettably, the collapsed buildings in the Bonchari constituency were under construction despite being suspended by the National Construction Authority for non-compliance, including not being registered with the authority. Preliminary assessment of the structures also attributed the collapse to poor workmanship and overloading of upper floors beyond the approved structural design. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning, and Public Works on the following. 1, measures being taken by the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development to ensure strict enforcement of the building code for all construction projects. 2, the status of investigations into the causes of the collapse of the 4-story building at Iterio in Bonchari, including establishing the circumstances under which the project continued construction despite being stopped by the National Construction Authority due to safety concerns. 3, plans put in place to hold to account and penalize responsible persons for the collapse of the building for violating or abetting the violation of construction standards and safety. And 4, any plans to provide medical treatment support for the victims who sustained injuries and compensation for families of the 5 people who perished in the ill-fated building at Iterio. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Was it to security or public works? Chair, housing. Where is Johanna Ngeno? Is he still the chair of that committee? Owen Bayer. Can you inform the chair housing to bring a response to that report on the... Is he still the chair of that committee? Owen Bayer. Can you inform the chair housing to bring a response to that report on the first day of resumption after recess?
Okay. Much obliged, Honorable Speaker. Much obliged.
Doris Donya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to request for a statement regarding tragic death of Sylvia Kemunto and the escalating cases of gender-based violence. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and International Security regarding the tragic death of Ms. Sylvia Kemunto Ayaye and the escalating cases of gender-based violence in the country. Honorable Speaker, the nation was recently shaken by the horrific killing of Ms. Sylvia Kemunto Ayaye of ID number 23-1943-385, a student at Multimedia University in Nairobi, whose body was discovered dumped in a rooftop water tank at the institution. According to the government's pathological report, the cause of death was strangulation. The prime suspect, a Mr. Philip Eric Mutinda, confessed to be premeditated actions, including targeting Sylvia while she was alone, making unwanted advances, and when rejected, resorting to fatal violence. He alleges that he later concealed her body in a suitcase before dumping it in a water tank. Honorable Speaker, This heartbreaking incident is not isolated and reflects a disturbing pattern of violence against women and girls across the country, particularly within institutions of higher learning. Ms. Kemunto's case has exposed glaring gaps in the safety protocols at these institutions and a lapse in societal accountability and our national commitment to ending gender-based violence. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, the circumstances leading to the killing of Ms. Sylvia Kemunto, including how the suspect accessed the victim's room at the university. 2, report on the status of investigations and actions being taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration and the National Police Service to prosecute the perpetrator of this Seniors Act. And lastly, report on the immediate and long-term measures put in place within institutions of higher learning to guarantee the safety of all students, particularly female students who remain disproportionately vulnerable, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Tongoyo, when can you bring a response to this? Can you give him the mic? Yes, there you are.
Honorable Speaker, maybe we can able to do within 2 weeks. But Honorable Speaker, I just want to report to the House that we are considering the number of statements. We had seen it fit to call the CS to appear before the committee next week around 24th or 2nd. So we'll need your indulgence if we can probably combine, including even the honorable members, so that the CS can able even to, she can appear even on the same day. There are quite a number of statements. So we wanted to lump them and have the CS appear before the committee and the members.
Your CS is a lady?
Sorry?
You said she will appear?
No, he, yes. Honorable Speaker.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The CS Interior.
So notify the concerned members through the clerk the day of appearance so that they can be available. Honorable Zamzam.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for statements regarding the death of Mr. Yusuf Ali Abdi following the collapse of the demolished building in Mombasa County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the death of Mr. Yusuf Ali Abdi following the collapse of the demolished building in Mombasa. Honorable Speaker, on 8th April 2025, the county government of Mombasa announced plans to carry out controlled demolition of a structure located on plot number XLVI/195/MI in Mombasa County following partial collapse of the building. On 9th April 2025, a multi-agency team led by the Kenya Defence Forces was deployed to the coastal city through a Gazette notice issued on 7th April 2025 to carry out the controlled demolition. Sadly, Mr. Yusuf Ali Abdi was found dead, having been apparently trapped inside the building during its partial collapse. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that a request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the following. 1. Report on the measures being taken by the government to support the family of the late Mr. Yusuf Ali Abdi, who died while apparently trapped inside the collapsed building located on plot number XLVI/195/MI. And 2. To provide a status report on the investigation into the collapse of the building and subsequent death of Mr. Yusuf Abdi. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Tongoyo.
Honorable Speaker, I have confirmed that the CS will be appearing on Tuesday, 22nd, and we'll try to see whether we can lump together even with the honorable members and have them responded to the same day with the rest of the statements.
Thank you. Mwashako. Honorable Mwashako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Hold there, Mwashako. You have a statement in regard with the Director General of Kenya Fisheries.
I want to
believe that one will be stayed.
Yes.
And you
I do the general
request the one that I approved this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
On mining.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 43.1, I wish to make a general statement regarding alleged commitment of Taita Taveta County mineral fields as collateral for government loan. Honorable Speaker, I rise to address a matter of grave concern that has recently caused anxiety among the people of Taita Taveta County. The claims which have been circulating on various social media platforms are unverified reports alleging that the government of Kenya has committed the mineral resources of Taita Taveta as collateral to secure a loan from the government of the People's Republic of China. These claims have understandably triggered unease, especially considering the long-standing perception that the benefits of mining activities in our county have historically accrued to outsiders, leaving local communities marginalized and deprived of their accruing economic gains. Honorable Speaker, I wish to categorically state, after engaging the relevant authorities and conducting due diligence on the matter, that these allegations are entirely false, baseless, and misleading. I wish to assure the people of Taita Taveta County that we, the elected leaders from the region, have received firm assurances from the government that no such arrangement has been made, nor is there any intention to do so. As the leaders elected to serve and protect the interests of our people, we remain vigilant and fully committed to ensuring that the natural resources found within Taita Taveta County benefit our people. Honorable Speaker, the people of Taita Taveta have our guarantee that on their behalf, we support and will continue to support legitimate investors operating within the framework of our laws and provision of Article 71 of our Constitution. On behalf of the elected leaders from Taita Taveta County, I wish to categorically affirm that we shall not permit illegal mining activities that contravene the law and the principle of exploitation of natural resources as espoused in Article 69 and 71 of the Constitution. In collaboration with the Ministry of Mining under the stewardship of the Cabinet Secretary Honorable Ali Hassan Joho, our security agencies, we will take firm action against anyone engaging in such unlawful activities. Finally, Honorable Speaker, to the people of Taita Taveta, I say this: remain calm and confident in your leadership. We are alert and deeply committed to defending and safeguarding the natural resources that rightfully belong to you and our future generation. Thank you, and may God bless Taita Taveta and the Republic of Kenya. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, a member for Mwatate or Voi, sorry. Member for Voi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to support the statement by Honorable Mwashako, MP for Mundanyi. Minerals and indeed other natural resources is a heritage of the people of Taita Taveta County, and as such, we take great exception to any insinuations that these resources have been unlawfully utilized as collateral for some loan. I join my colleagues from Taita Taveta in reassuring the people of Taita Taveta that as their leaders, we remain vigilant and will not accept any actions from whichever source that aim to jeopardize their heritage and ancestral rights. The people and the resources of Taita Taveta County deserve protection and are indeed protected by existing laws. And we should be careful as leaders not to make any inflammatory remarks. Finally, Mr. Speaker, Most of these minerals are on land that is either community land or privately owned as ranches. And such remarks have raised a lot of concern from landowners in Taita Taveta County. And it might be time that the government needs to clarify this matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Samuel Chepkonga, he sent me a message that he has assigned the member for Keio South to present the request. Kimayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the total amount of money that has been spent in the provision of bursaries by county governments in the last 5 financial years. That is financial year 2024-2025, 2023-2024, 2022-2023, 2021-2022, and 2020-2021. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, the 4th schedule to the Constitution expressly delineates the functions of the national and county governments in respect of education. Specifically, Mr. Speaker, paragraph 16 of part 1 of the 4th schedule to the Constitution provides that primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions, and universities are functions of the national government. On the other hand, paragraph 9 of part 2 of the 4th schedule to the Constitution provides that pre-primary education, village polytechnics, home craft centers, and children facilities are functions of county governments. Honorable Speaker, despite these clear provisions of the Constitution, county governments have apparently been spending billions of shillings of devolved funds in provision of bursaries for students in schools not falling within the functions of county governments. There are also allegations that seemingly unlawful expenditure has been incurred by county governors with approval of the controller of budget, who authorizes the withdrawal of public funds for the utilization of provision of bursaries to students in primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions, and the universities. Further, it is notable that these matters have been subject of litigation. It is important for members of this House to fully be informed on these matters, which are pertinent to the several legislative interventions before the House, and to seek to resolve the issue of duplication of roles by the county governments and the unlawful expenditure of devolved funds on the functions that fall under national government in respect to provision of bursaries. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of Budget and Appropriations Committee on the following. Number 1, information from the controller of budget on the total amount of public funds that have been spent by county governors in the provision of bursaries to students at different levels of education, that is pre-primary education, primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions, and universities for the financial year 2024-25, 23-24, 2022-23, 2021-2022, and financial year 2020-2021. The information on the total amount of devolved funds spent for each financial year should also clearly indicate the level of education for which the public funds were spent for the provision of bursaries per county. Secondly, an explanation from the controller of budget on what legal basis has been for the authorizing of withdrawal of funds for expenditure by county governors in provision of bursaries for functions that do not fall under the county government's jurisdiction. And finally, the specific steps the controller of budget has taken to stop the apparently unlawful expenditure of public funds by county governors. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Osoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support the statement by the Honorable Kimayo in regard to these issues of bursary and what I will call an unclear division of roles between different arms of government or sectors of government. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know, this House has really debated on this question of what really is this House meant to do or supposed to do, or the national government, and any responsibility that pertains issues to do with county government should be left to the county government, Honorable Speaker. But looking at what the county governors are doing, Honorable Speaker, it's about time we sit and ask ourselves exactly how we are going to handle these menace, Honorable Speaker. You will see that on one point, Honorable Speaker, they claim that the national government has refused to relinquish part of their responsibilities back to the county government, Honorable Speaker. They then blamed the members of parliament on the questions of NGCDF and other matters. They've taken this House, Honorable Speaker, the PSC or members of this National Assembly, Honorable Speaker, to court on several occasions, my Honorable Speaker. And then, on the other hand, they are here moving around the counties, the constituencies, Honorable Speaker, distributing bursaries, a subject that is left, or rather that is supposed to be done by the national government, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, while we agree that we need to amalgamate these funds, perhaps in the near future, where we'll have one loop of fund, Honorable Speaker, and perhaps a commission, and this is a discussion that we're having that I'm very happy that was actually initiated by you, but it's also important that even before we get to that point, as we are right now, Honorable Speaker, education is a subject of the national government. What the hell does a governor, what interest does a governor have in distributing bursaries, Honorable Speaker, all over, Honorable Speaker, in secondary schools, in universities, and Honorable Speaker, what they do, they don't even give substantial amount. It's usually laughable. They only distribute, Honorable Speaker, about 2,000 shillings per student, or sometimes 1,000 shillings. Then they make a lot of noise about it. They move around. Honorable Speaker, it's really a question that we need to discuss. That a governor would move with a convoy of 40 vehicles to give a bursary of 5 million in a village. Then move to another one, he has another 60 vehicles, half of them are carrying goons, to give a bursary of 10 million, Honorable Speaker. Then here we are again, they raise issues of how we distribute, but with the meager resources that are oversighted by the members of this House, Honorable Speaker, we do not give 1,000 shillings. The members of the National Assembly oversight a committee of CDF, Honorable Speaker, but they do not give 1,000. They don't give 2,000, and you don't even shout about it. Honorable Speaker, this is really a question that really needs to be discussed upon, and that is why even today here, even as we discuss about the next agenda that we are going to have perhaps in the order paper, Honorable Speaker, look, that they have taken members of parliament to court on the question of roads, Honorable Speaker, on the RMLF. And on the other hand, Honorable Speaker, they claim, Honorable Speaker, that they want everything that we handle here, Honorable Speaker, diverted to them. What is that? Honorable Speaker, I am on record having said here that with the meager resources that you get, you will see it in full glare of the camera. By all of us can be able to see. But you will need a microscope to identify what a governor does. You will actually need a microscope, Honorable Speaker. You will need the bigger lenses that you are wearing, Honorable Speaker, to identify what governors do. Other than hiring goons and having people around, paid up crowds. Honorable Speaker, it is universal in this county government. It's universal in the governors. They carry with them, Honorable Speaker, a paid up team that does not change. Sometimes they even forget to change their clothes. They move from one ward to another. They sit in front in public functions, and their work is just one, to cheer, so that they portray, popularity. Some, Honorable Speaker, were even found with cash in the house. Honorable Speaker, if you gave me 12 million shillings to give bursaries in the constituencies, Honorable Speaker, I could have given a lot of, so many students. But our governor keeps 12 million in his bedroom, Honorable Speaker, in his bedroom. And then there's some other, in the currency of the US dollars. And what does he do? When he's caught up with, what does he do? He incites his paid up goons, the normal cheering crowd, moves around Kenyatta Avenue, shouting that, this is personal vendetta. You are a thief Face it. You have stolen. Wewe ni mwizi. Sorry, Honorable Speaker.
You've made your point.
Thank you very much.
Robert Mbui.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that is very frequent and very common almost every day on TV, you see governors get together and they are constantly complaining that there is money that is delayed and many times money is not enough. So it is a shocker that even though the money they are given, they complain it's not enough. They go beyond the mandate that the Constitution has given them and start doing things that are supposed to be done by the national government. The issue of bursary, it is a shocker, Mr. Speaker, that for all these years, since the inception of the new Constitution 2010, governors have actually given bursary every year. And what I'm wondering is, when did the Controller of Budget realize this problem? Why wasn't it sorted out long time ago? So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that for governors, the money that they are given, let them do the mandate for which they are supposed to do. If it is a matter of education, Mr. Speaker, they have ECDs. In fact, I will tell you, Mr. Speaker, in a lot of constituencies in Kenya, you find the ECD classes are actually built using the national government constituency development fund, because most of them are dilapidated. Our polytechnics are in state of disrepair. There are no tutors. There is no equipment. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to advise governors, please do the job for which the Constitution has assigned to you. Read the fourth schedule clearly and leave the work of the national government to be done by the national government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, you'll have an opportunity to ventilate on that at order number at order number 9. So hold your horses. Susanna Kiamba.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I raise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works regarding implementation of the Affordable Housing Program. Honorable Speaker, since the enactment of Affordable Housing Act 2024, the people of Kenya have dutifully contributed to the housing levy, the funding mechanism for the Affordable Housing Program. This initiative is intended to provide decent, accessible, and affordable housing to all Kenyans, in line with Article 43 of the Constitution. However, concerns have been raised by a section of Kenyans regarding transparency and accountability of the administration of the funds collected through the housing levy. There is a growing apprehension about potential mismanagement of these funds, as well as lack of clarity on the specific projects that have been executed and accessibility of the houses under the program to the intended beneficiaries. It is therefore necessary that the government provides comprehensive information on the status and progress of implementation of affordable housing projects. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works on the following. A detailed report on the total amount of money collected under the housing levy since its inception, the amount drawn from the fund, and the measures for ensuring that the funds are strictly utilized for the intended purpose. A report on the project funded by the housing levy so far, the amount channeled to each of the project, the specific constituencies where they are located, and the status of implementation. 3, a report on the number and details of Kenyans, especially from the vulnerable households, who have acquired housing units under the Affordable Housing Program, and the mechanism put in place to ensure accountability, transparency, and the value for money in the project, including the oversight framework for the project and details of the agencies that oversight the program. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Housing. Any member from that committee? Yes, Zengu. You are a member of that committee? Take your seat. Majority Leader, inform the chair of that committee to bring a response within the first 2 days of our resumption after recess. Double N Pamela Njoki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I rise to request for a statement regarding the accessibility of critical institutions by deaf persons. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the
Critical institutions or critical services in public institutions?
Request for statement regarding the accessibility of critical services in critical institutions
Yes.
by deaf persons. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection regarding the accessibility of critical services in public institutions by deaf persons. Honorable Speaker, Article 7(3) of the Constitution obligates the state to promote the development and use of the Kenya Sign Language. Further, Article 54 guarantees that persons with disabilities are entitled to reasonable access to all places, public transport, and information. However, the lived reality of the deaf persons in the country shows that there is a gap in the provisions of the law and the actual realization. In many public institutions, particularly hospitals, deaf persons are often unable to communicate their health needs due to the absence of sign language interpreters or alternative communication technologies. Article 43 of the Constitution provides that every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to health care services. This cannot be achieved due to inaccessibility to services by deaf persons in these institutions. This communication barrier exposes them to misdiagnosis, improper treatment, and alienation from critical public services. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on the following. 1, report indicating the number and the distribution of sign language interpreters across critical institutions in the country, including public hospitals, courts, and police stations. Number 2, steps that the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection is taking to implement the provisions of the Constitution in relation to accessibility by persons who are deaf. 3, measures in place to promote the training, certification, and deployment of sign language and interpreters across critical institutions. And finally, policy in place to develop assistive technology that supports communication for persons who are deaf or hearing impaired. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chair, Social Protection Committee. Any member? Tim Wanyonyi, can your committee bring a response? Or you wanted to joyride?
No, I am a member of that committee, Mr. Speaker.
You bring a response the third day of our sitting after the recess.
May I also comment on that, Mr. Speaker?
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, the Persons with Disabilities Act has been around since 2004, including now the recent one that we just passed the other day. UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities addresses all these issues and is even entrenched in our Constitution that people with disability will also be given their due rights. Mr. Speaker, the biggest culprit is always the government. And we must now address this issue head on. We should now even become more litigant on this issue because some people